Alright, yeah, and welcome back to some more Magic Arena. Today we're going to be jumping into some historic Brawl, and we're going to be playing a commander that I frequent fairly often, but whenever I frequent it, it's usually due to us doing a live stream, and the deck ends up being built by chat, and it always turns into a meme. So I thought today I would build it on my own and make Jodah, but good? Maybe. I don't know. So, like, usually my deck's full of garbage because chat wants me to play garbage. So we're gonna try and make Jodah as best as we possibly can. And so no Slin voters here, only the finest of bomb threats for our deck. Let's talk about our commander though. It is a 1 blue, red, and white for a 4/3 with flying. However, it says you may pay Wooburg rather than pay the mana cost for spells that you cast. And the Wooburg in the text box means that this is a 5-color commander. Jodah's probably one of my only 5-color commanders that I like. I think most of them in general end up being way too powerful, but Jodah has this kind of, I don't know, it gets a free pass from me because it gets to do fun and stupid things, and that means that on 4 I can play a card, on 5 I can do any of this large pile here. It does mean though that your deck usually has a good fizzle rate of doing nothing, which is why I look at Jodah and I think to myself, you know what, it's probably fine. The rest of them just, I don't know, they do silly things. Golos is just, he's in here, but, you know, he's in here because, you know, I'm trying to make this deck as good as possible. But yeah, let's talk about how this deck wins. So the early game is, as you might expect, a lot of ramp. We've got a couple of mana dorks in Paradise Druid and Florahedron. We've got all of the 2 mana sorceries and mana rocks as well. Into the north, Explore, Growth Spiral, Arcane Signet, Mind Stone, all of that wonderful goodness. And then we've got lots of other ramp as well attached to it. Once we've got our ramp though, that does mean that we can either play our Jodah and do the Wooburg nonsense, because we do need to generate 5 mana by turn 5, so, or 5 different colours of mana by turn 5. So that's kind of like why we've got our early game ramp, or we can actually just like take the pressure off of Jodah in this deck and go for our wonderful big old bomb threats. And I'm not really going to go into all of the big old bomb threats. I'll just talk about some of the important ones, some of the really like back-breaking ones. Things like Omniscience, you can cast this for 5 mana. Once you do that, you can imagine that the density of threats in your hand is quite large. We also have some of the ultimatums in here. We got Ruinous Ultimatum, which is a one-sided board wipe for all permanents on our opponent's side, or all non-land permanents. We got Genesis Ultimatum that lets us look at the top 5 cards of our library and put any number of them among them onto the battlefield. I do cast this today, and for some reason my brain thinks I can only pick 2. So don't get too stressed if you watch me umming and ahhing about the disgusting pile of cards that this reveals and thinking about which are the best 2. I know, I figure it out. Don't worry. I'm sure some of you have already skipped the deck tech and will be commenting down below how much you cringed. That's usually what happens anyway. Emergent Ultimatum, one of my least favourite ultimatums in the game, but it has to be in here because it's powerful. You can do this for 5 mana with your Jodah. You get to look at 3 mono-coloured cards with different names, and your opponent chooses 1 to put back into your library, and then you get to cast the other 2. In this case, what we're going to do is most likely do something like Omniscience, and then 2 extra turn spells. We've got Alrund's Epiphany, we've got Karn's Temporal Sundering, and we've got Time Warp in here. So we should have 2 extra turn spells to choose from, as well as the I Win the Game Omniscience card is very much available to us. We could also do other things as well, like Overwhelming Splendor, which turns all of our opponent's creatures into 1/1s with no text boxes, and they can't activate abilities that aren't mana abilities or loyalty abilities as well, which is amusing. We got a lot of the Praetors in here. We've got Sheoldred, we've got Vorinclex, as we've mentioned. Jin Kataxis is in here, Elish Norn. I think that's actually all of them except for Urbrask. Is that the red one? I can't remember his name. Some fun and wonderful cards that I just couldn't afford to not put in the deck. Sunbird's Invocation, 6 mana enchantment. Whenever you cast a spell from your hand, reveal the top X cards of your library, where X is that spell's mana value. You may cast the spell with the mana value X or less from among cards revealed this way without paying its mana cost, and then you put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. So you get 2-for-1s on every single card for the rest of the game. And as you can imagine, we can go quite deep into our deck since we've got some very expensive cards here. Haphazard Bombardment gets cast today. It's a very wonderful card, and I absolutely love it. And I feel like that's probably all we need to really talk about. The rest of the deck should kind of explain itself, really. Big old mana base, all the triomes. We've got Field of the Dead in here as well, since every single land is a singleton. So on turn 7, we're just going to have Field of the Dead active no matter what happens. We've got the World Tree in here as well. That turns all of our lands into 5-color lands, as long as we've got 6 or more, including the World Tree. So we can use things like Hour of Promise to go and dig up Field of the Dead and the World Tree, as well as Golos to do the same kind of thing. And yeah, that's going to be the deck. Hopefully you enjoy, and if you do, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe. And without further ado, let's continue. This video is brought to you by the generous support of our wonderful patrons and channel members that you see here. If you'd like to support the channel and get access to cool content like sneak peeks, bonus videos, polls on future content, or access to a personal deck critique from myself every month, then hit the join button down below, or check out the Patreon link in the description. With all that said, let's get into the gameplay. Alrighty then, we're in, and this sounds okay. It's okay. Got circuitous route that we can get to. If we ever get Jodah down, we've got the Malakir Rebirth to protect it against mono black. That's basically all you really need to do. As long as it dies, though. If it's exiled, different story entirely. And we can cast Maelstrom Pulse, so yeah. I think I'm going to keep this one. Our opponent's playing Ghoul Caller Gisa, very nice relevant card, with Midnight Hunt being like the Innistrad themed deck of the day. Hello. We are going to, I think, play Balaged Recovery. Ghoul Caller Gisa, 5 mana 3/4, pay 1 black and sacrifice, tap to sacrifice another creature, and then you make X 2/2 black zombie creature tokens, where X is a zombie, the sacrifice creature's power. But what you can do is you can sack a 2/2 zombie to make 2 2/2 zombies, is kind of the cute little idea there. Part of me is wondering whether or not I just throw a Malakir Rebirth down, because I'm going to need mana. I think that's actually probably just going to be the case, because I don't even think I'm going to be getting Jodah down on 4, because I have no white mana now anyway, so I'm going to have to draw a land. And on 4, I could just use Circuitous Route instead. Diagraph Colossus, so we are just like full-on mono-black zombies, by the looks of it. So I can Maelstrom Pulse Diagraph Colossus, which I think is correct, because that card will spiral out of control, and I don't have a sweeper. So I really want that out of play. Good news is our opponent doesn't really deal with enchantments very often, so if I can get to the Mirari's Wake on 5, then I can double my mana that way. And I can certainly do that. Very painful mana base today. Not going to hit Shambling Gas with Binding of the Old Gods, because they can make a treasure, and I think they just skipped their land drop, right? Oh, hello. I need white, and I think I just want double white, really. Have I got double black? I do have double black. I've got double green. I don't have double blue. I guess Binding of the Old Gods can get me more green. Let's just take a blue source, I guess, then. I don't know. We got 5 colors of mana now. We can play Mirari's Wake and see where we go from there. Erebos, Blackhearted. Very nice. Yeah, really taking advantage of the Durdle from our opponent here. And I'm definitely going to go with Mirari's Wake, because it's going to be hard for our opponent to deal with that card, short of them having an Ugin of their own, or the other one. Ooh, Bolas's Citadel. Well, let's see how many cards they can get for free. I do have a Binding of the Old Gods that can deal with it later. We're going down to 11. Well, I guess I do have Zakama here that can basically do her thing. So let's QQ. Play Zakama. Hopefully, I'm just going to trust that the tapper has done its best impression of a good tap. So I can bolt Ayara. That's going to keep Erebos away. And then pay 2 life to draw cards. Let's see. Let's go Ugin, I guess. Tick up with Ugin. And let's gain a little bit of life. Oh no, I can't gain a little bit of life. Don't have the mana for that. Can't kill Erebos. Don't want to kill Shambling Ghasts. So let's get the Florahedron in play. That seemed like a pretty good turn to me. Don't even need Jodah to do my thing. So they've got a Crux of Fate. They're going to sweep the board. We get to draw a card, so do they. Make some treasures as well. I imagine they draw a card here. They want to really dig for some value. Right, so if I have no land cards, seek a land card and a non-land. Otherwise, 2 non-lands. So I want 2 non-lands. So I'm going to keep the swamp in my hand. So I get 2 wonderful permanents. Nyx Bloom Ancient being a wonderful permanent. A little bit overkill, mind you, but wonderful permanent nonetheless. Let's do free Hedron Archive. Costs 2, but, you know, it taps for 2, and I generate 2, so I call it free. Play Liliana. Tick up with Liliana, so if they sweep the board, we'll draw a lot of cards. And I have buried our opponent in card advantage. Fantastic. Alright, well, assuming they had a sweeper there, we were going to draw, what, 1 card from here, then 2, 3, 4 cards. I've got the Valakut's Awakening that I can redo some stuff here, jig around and make sure I'm, you know, doing the right thing. I actually wonder about, I think this just provides 1 additional because of the way it's worded. Whenever you tap a land, add 1 mana of any type. So this only produces 1 extra mana, but if you tap a permanent for mana, it produces 3 times as much of that mana instead. But I think Mirari's Wake is kind of like separate. So I think Nyx Bloom Ancient plus Wake is like 4 mana. I'm not sure. Either way, though, Nyx Bloom Ancient's kind of like overkill, so I'd probably just Awaken it away anyway and see what we got from there, because we just want to find, like, you know, omnisciences and things like that. Even that Scholar that's underneath here, I could have seen myself maybe minusing Liliana to kill, and draw on the Scholar. Scholar could then, you know, get me a Bounty of the Deep. I draw from there, and wonderful and mean things occur. On to the next game. Alrighty, we're in. We've got a hand. It ramps. I think that's kind of like the most important thing that a deck can do of this caliber in the early game. So yeah, I'm gonna keep it. We're up against General Kudro of Dranith, 3 mana, 3/3. Other humans you control get +1/+1, and when the general or another human enters the battlefield, exile a card from an opponent's graveyard. You can pay 2 to sacrifice 2 humans to destroy a creature with power 4 or greater. Am I going to Abundant Harvest? Or am I just going to go farmland so that I can Florahedron next turn? I kind of like the Florahedron plan. Let's just get this tap land out of the way now, I guess. Rockfall Vale. Yeah, so that's an untapped land for later. I am going to go with the Florahedron, though. It's going to allow us to do multiple things next turn if it lives. Triumphant Adventurer. That is a card. Hello, Haphazard Bombardment. I would love to get to you nice and early. So we're going to cultivate. We're going to get black mana at the very least. And White, blue, green, red. Yeah, that'll be all of our colours then at that point. I guess I'll get a little bit more blue, perhaps. Let's get the snow-covered island. I actually can't remember which type of land I favoured more. 4, 5... I'm actually bombarding our opponent next turn if they don't do anything, right? If they play their land, I get to choose 4 non-enchantment permanents and basically just stone rain them for the game. That's going to be disgusting. Goodbye, part of my graveyard I don't think I care about. Balaged Recovery's a card, I suppose, but that's really about it. So yeah, we're just going to 4, 5, 6, just double check him. We're going to target all their lands and Triumphant Adventurer, I guess, because this one would make me discard a card. Oh, my game is frozen. Arena's been doing this a lot recently. It's not ideal. It's not ideal at all. Alright, back in a second, guys. Alright, we're in. Apparently my timeouts have been used, so back to it. Plan of action is boop, 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 and we just hope to hit that white source most of all. Yeah, hit the creature. That's okay. Now we know that we're just going to hit lands for quite some time, so there is that. We're at 22. I don't know if they did anything else while we were gone. I think it probably just ended the turn after they ate my Abundant Harvest. Killian Ink Duelist and Vengeful Strangler eats my Cultivate. Alright, so 3, 6. If I Seagate Restoration, I get an extra turn, which means extra bombardment triggers. I kind of like that idea, honestly. So let's just take an extra turn, blow up a land. Got the white source, fantastic. Khan's Temporal Sundering is a good card. Let's, I guess, Binding. Oh, let's do Chromatic Lantern into Binding. Hit Killian, maybe? And then you can't block, right? When it dies, return to the battlefield transformed under your control, attached to a creature or planeswalker and opponent controls. Okay, that's annoying. I'm just going to keep my stuff back. I might even end up triple blocking the Graveyard Trespasser. Alright, so we have throttled their mana well and truly. We're not quite at Jodah into Temporal Sundering, but maybe if I drew a land, I'm not quite sure I could get there. I will just, like, block here, I think, and block here. Not too interested in taking lots and lots and lots of damage. Alright, so if I have built this deck correctly, I should have lots and lots of Triomes, and I did. So I'm just going to pick any of them. Since we got the Chromatic Lantern, it's not really going to matter too much. So this leaves me with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep, so I can do Jodah into extra turn spell, taking an extra turn. Let's bounce the Acolyte, I guess. And opponent has well and truly had enough. We don't really know what we're going to draw, to be honest, and we're not going to blow up any more lands with Bombardment, because that's done its thing. But we've got the Nyx Bloom Ancient for 5 mana, so that gives us 3, 6, 9... Is it only lands? Tap a permanent. Okay. So, 12, 15. It's pretty good. 15 mana to play with off of whatever we top deck, but we are top decking, so yeah. I mean, to be fair, like, we've got time to make lots of draws. They've got 2 lands, you know. We know that they can replay a card, but they can't play any of the white cards in their hands, so anything that's important on our board isn't really going to be interacted with realistically. And yeah, it's probably a guaranteed victory, really. So, yep, sweet. On to the next one. Alrighty, we're up against Yarok the Desecrated. We've got a 2-lander with a mana rock. So any land here just kind of unlocks this hand a little bit, especially with Bounty of the Deep. If we've got no lands, it'll get us a land and an on-land, so I'm going to keep this one. I'm not sold that it's going to be the greatest thing ever, but we literally just need a land, and then we can work our way to the rest of the stuff. We can play Jodah, and then we only need 5 mana for our stuff. So playing against Yarok the Desecrated, I don't feel like I really need to explain this one. It's a very popular commander. Soul Tie, Death Touch, 3/5 in lifelink. We got a land, fantastic. And any permanents that enter trigger ETB effects, basically. I love these sleeves, by the way. You hover them, and they turn into Arlen's werewolf side. I just think that's very cool. Alright. So, we can't play Bounty next turn unless we were just to draw a blue source, which honestly I'm totally fine with, but we have Chromatic Lantern instead, and hopefully our opponent leaves it alone. It's hard to say whether or not I play Jodah next turn or I go with Bounty. Bounty, I think, is the safer play, because if Lantern is going to die at some point, I have no blue mana. So it would be troublesome, I would say. So I think I am gonna get blue mana. Look at that. Beautiful. Alright. We're in no real rush to just, like, slam Jodah. Although this hand's kind of getting to that point where we're like, you know what? We should really slam Jodah. This could be another bombardment matchup again. If I just, like, target their lands all over again. It seems to be a really good way of winning the game, just getting an early bombardment. So land off the top and I will absolutely go after their mana base. Uro helps to ramp them up and make the bombardment a little less powerful. I can actually take him off green or blue with a bombardment, as long as I get rid of the visionary as well, but that's not too difficult to do. Alright, we didn't get an untapped 6th land, but we got 6th land anyway, so we're going to play Jodah, see if it dies, see if it gets countered. It did not get countered, but if they have removal, it will die. Murder. Ooh, that's a card. I don't think there's any reason to play Murder beyond budget restrictions. There are just too many good removal spells for Murder to be necessary. Alright, so here's where they could play Yarok. If they did, I can Liliana minus. Quite safely, actually. Getting rid of the mana rock so that their command attacks is a little bit more painful. They got Florahedron, so they can save the Yarok now. So I can do Triumph. And I could attack the mana, but it's only a land at a time. I could Liliana minus, get rid of the Visionary and the Florahedron. Lose Liliana to Yarok. Or I could play Jodah, who would then go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Nyx Bloom Ancient, 3, 6. 4 cards in hand. Chance of them being removal is pretty strong. I just don't really like Liliana's minus here. Is Liliana's +1 worth it? Blocker for Yarok, take 3. Maybe. No Pact to Negation in their hand. Good to know. I don't know. We want to get rid of all of the removal in their hand, so putting Liliana and a blocker in the way is a good way to go about that, I would imagine. But, yeah, Yarok gets to live, and this is kind of like where Yarok gets to do its thing, because they get double Risen Reef triggers, drawing 2. No, draw 1, ramp 1. I get to Emergent Ultimatum, though. I don't know what my pile looks like for Emergent Ultimatum. I imagine one of them's a board wipe. Omniscience. And something else. Ooh, this is a dress. Yeah. A double dress. So definitely want to be taking Emergent Ultimatum here. And then, what do you want after that? I mean, bombardment's very bad now, so I would love it if you took bombardment. To be fair, what they've failed to notice is that Scholar actually casts Emergent Ultimatum out of the graveyard. So if I was to draw a land here... Oh. Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to minus Liliana and draw off my zombie to try and get that land.
From battle to the grave.
Exarch and Florahedron, I guess? Yep. Come on, untap land. Rude. Actually, we already got the mana. I don't know what I'm thinking. Alright, let's go Scholar then. Already got Omniscience in our hand. It's probably one of the three I would normally pick. What's the opponent got here? Emergent Ultimatum, please. Have they got Pact to Negation now? They've only got one green mana. Maybe it's like a Veil of Summer they've got. Right, let's see. I would like... Overwhelming Splendor seems pretty good. Jin Cataxius is kind of good. Fires of Invention. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's get extra turn, extra turn. Yeah, so I either destroy their creatures to no end and take an extra turn, or I take 2 extra turns. That should be strong enough, because then I'll get to... If I get the 2 extra turns, I get to Vorinclex and pay for Omniscience, so... I'm going to Time Warp myself. I'm going to Temporal Sundering myself, bouncing their Yarok. And then Vorinclex Omniscience is going to be my turn. Or Nyx Bloom Omniscience. Probably just Vorinclex, because he's cooler. I'll keep the Valakut's Awakening. Because once I'm playing my cards for free, I'll want to draw as many cards as I possibly can that are relevant. And, yeah, once Omniscience is down, neither of these two become all that relevant. Vorinclex a little bit more so, though, because it taps our opponent down in that painful kind of way. I don't actually know what they've got, though, because I bounced their Yarok and they didn't use whatever card they had in hand. And I really thought it was going to be a Snakeskin Veil or a Veil of Summer or any of those kind of things. Blossoming Defense. They seem to have just let it go. Alright, so first of many extra turns, hopefully. Maybe they're just holding full control on me so that it makes it look like they've got something. I could also see that being the case. I can also see the fact that they're holding the rope on me, that they don't like extra turn effects in their game. Which is understandable. But if you don't like the extra turn spells, guess what? Historic Brawl's a casual format, you can concede. It is well within your capabilities to do so. There is a top right button. It is a valid play that you can make at any time during the game. It is in fact a rule in Magic the Gathering that a player can concede at any time. So, you know, you don't have to be too upset that you just lost, but you know, you can go on to do bigger and better things, you know? Do your laundry. Maybe that's what they're doing right now. They're doing the washing up. Alright, so now it's one of my extra turns. I don't actually have Vorinclex mana, so I guess it is going to be Nyx Bloom Ancient here for our first extra turn. And we're going to actually Omniscience extra turn. That's beautiful. It's beautiful. If they didn't like it before, they're going to hate it now. Oh, good. Awesome. Yeah. I don't mind when people rope me. In fact, to be honest, it's a sign that I've done my job quite well. And, you know, I report them all. Every time I get this kind of rope. If it's very clear that they're roping me as well. Because some people, you know, last game we did actually have a connection cut out. It's entirely the case that that might be the situation, but is it a coincidence that their game froze right after I took 2 extra turns? I'm leaning towards probably not. Let's make a zombie. Swing for 5.
Rise.
Extra turn. Omniscience, I win the game. So now we get to play all of our cards for free. I'm going to Valakut's Awakening, getting rid of Vorinclex and Migration Path, taking an extra turn with Alrund's Epiphany, swinging in with my team, and I should have them dead real quick. Like, you know, they don't have to worry about me comboing and drawing my entire deck and playing every card, because I am presenting, I think, a lethal enough threat right now. Since the Nyx Blumation is trampling, goes right through our opponent's stuff. So, you know. Is what it is. Come on, opponent. I think this will make them explode. Yeah. Okay. It's a shame they had to be a salty, salty sausage, but, you know. Is what it is. On to the next one, though. Deck's going quite well. We've got a salty roper. So... yeah, I'd call that a win. Alrighty then, we're in. And oh, this hand's so close to being good, but it has no green mana. And I think green mana is kind of vital for this hand, considering the Paradise Druid and the Spring to Mind would have actually helped us unlock a fair bit of this. That being said as well, 3 of the cards are extremely expensive. You don't really want to find them that early on, but at the same time, that's kind of why we play Jodah. Jodah helps us cast these absurdly expensive cards for a lot less, and we get a free mulligan in Arena, so you know, it's worth trying out. This one's a bit odd as well. We are on the draw. We have no green mana, but if we get a green source, Cultivate allows us to go off. We can foretell Arrow's Epiphany. We're on the draw. So this one, I think, is on the questionable keep game plan. Field of the Dead. There's Balaged Recovery. Alright, never punished. So, Balaged Sanctuary in, helps us cast the Cultivate. I think I am going to Blood Crypt and get the Epiphany in the Foretell zone. Just because we can, really. And we'll get to what our opponent's commander is in due time. I just want this card out of my hand. And then next turn we Cultivate, turn after that Circuitous Route. And then it looks like Jodah's just like... not very necessary at all. So, our opponent is playing Chatterfang, Squirrel General, 3 mana, 3/3 with Forest Walk. So if we have a forest in play, which we currently don't, we have a green source but not a forest, then it is unblockable. Whenever 1 or more tokens will be created under your control, those tokens plus that many green squirrel tokens are created instead, and then you can sack X squirrels to give target creature +X, -X until the end of the turn. It's pretty cute. Scurry Oak makes squirrels as well. I don't think they have a way of making that a combo that will beat me, but we do need blue here. And let's just get double blue because of the Genesis Ultimatum, I guess. So, yeah, because then I'll have the triple blue ready to go. Chatterfang, Squirrel General. Makes a squirrel, which makes another squirrel. Would love a board wipe. We're already at that point by the looks of things. Alright, so I play my islands, and then I think we're just going to go Circuitous Route here. Get 2 basic lands or gates. I didn't put any gates in my deck, I don't believe, so... we're just going to try and fix... yeah, no gates. Fix the Genesis Ultimatum. So we got the 3 blue. We got 1 red, so we need another red. And another green. Let's get... snow-covered forest, I guess. Alright, and that's us going Genesis Ultimatum next turn. Maybe... no, I don't have enough Zakama here. I could even do maybe Ruinous Ultimatum if I manage to get myself a 5-color generating option. Gold Vein Pick makes treasures, but also makes squirrels. Yeah, really, really do need that sweeper sooner rather than later. So they got 4 mana here if they go Phyrexian Tower to sacrifice something. Seeker's Chariot, oh baby. Growth Spiral. So, I think I want to start with Alrund's Epiphany as just a redraw. Although, I mean, what's Genesis Ultimatum going to get me here? It could get me, like, Elish Norn, which would be super brutal. Spring to Mind's definitely not correct. I don't have the double white for Wrath of God, which I do have in my deck, but... yeah, I think I just want to take an extra turn first and see what my next draw is going to be. If it's going to be something stupidly good with Genesis Ultimatum, I will feel a bit sad, but... it's just a triome. Alright, well, save me, Genesis Ultimatum. Oh. Overwhelming Splendor, turn all their creatures into 1/1s. That's a good start. And then is Coma the correct play? I could do Golos and get Field of the Dead. It's kind of like the same thing. Then I get that activation. It's definitely not Sheoldred. You don't really know. I guess it's Golos because I haven't played my Rogran Triome yet. Oh, I get to put them all into play. I'm stupid. I haven't played this card in a long time. All right. Submit. I was like, oh, I only get to pick 2. Forgive me, chat. Forgive me. It took me a moment. All right. Field of the Dead. And Field of the Dead. All right. Cool. Cool. How much damage could they go around me for, though? So I get another zombie here. I'm going to get a serpent. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They can only go around me for 1 point of damage with this board state. So, yeah, that's pretty good. Everything on the battlefield on their end basically has no text. So that's pretty cool. And then from there, I have the Wooburg mana for Golos activations, I guess. Spring to Mind, Growth Spiral, can do our stuff. Zakama, 3 for 5. Yeah, I could do Zakama, get that into play, basically for free. Start machine gunning off all of their creatures, because I know I can. But most likely probably just use it to gain some life, because I am extremely low on life. And I think if they got rid of the Overwhelming Splendor, they would probably have a means to win the game in some way, some fashion. But yeah, pretty good. On to the next one. Alrighty, we go first. This hand is pretty good, so I'm going to keep it. It's nice fixed mana. Hour of Promise can get me World Tree, Field of the Dead, and then we're off to the races from there. We are up against Imara, Soul of the Accord, which is a pretty aggressive commander. When it enters the battle... oh, sorry, when it becomes tapped, you create a 1/1 white soldier creature token with lifelink. And it's a 2-drop as well, so... let me make sure I've got... I need green and black. I'm going to get the green there, so I need any land that produces black, so it's going to be the Savai Triumph. So now I can Maelstrom Pulse Imara if I want to. They have no green mana yet. Strange hand to keep, where you can't cast Imara on turn 2. But that's up to them, I suppose. I don't really care about the cards they've played so far, so I'm just going to go with my Triome and pass. If I can get Sunbird's Invocation down, that would be glorious. There's Imara. Here's a Legion's Landing. And let's see. We can Maelstrom Pulse Imara. And then not do much. I can play Jodah, and then I can... I think play any card I want for 5 mana if I get to untap with Turn Timber bolting us. give it a shot. Keeps Amara back as well. But yeah, any Banishing Light effect or Conclave Tribunal, I think it's called, the Convoke one. All of those would be kind of less than ideal, but it looks like they don't have it, so... pretty good for us. Looks like we're going to win. Alright, so turn Timber into play untapped. Then I can play any of these wonderful cards. If I were to play any of them... I mean, the most powerful one is Hour of Promise. I could also see Vorinclex being an option. I'm just going to do Vorinclex because it's cooler. Let's be honest. We got to play the cool card. We've won enough today. Let's just do the meme plays. They didn't have an answer to Jodah before, and we've kind of punished that. So any answer they have here will make their lands come into play untapped. Come into play tapped. Or stay tapped. Words are difficult today. Do apologize. So yeah, if they have that Banishing Light, they're going to lose 3 of their mana for next turn. Can't afford to attack. Now I've got triple mana, so I can do like Sunbird's Invocation, and then I think into anything else. Venerated Loxodon. There goes their mana. Yep. Not really too fussed about that, because I get to do this. And it should leave me with Wooburg to cast another spell. So I'm going to do Hour of Promise. Sunbird's triggers, I get Golos. Golos triggers, I'll grab the World Tree, I suppose. Actually, no, we'll get Field of the Dead. And then we'll grab the World Tree and I think the Sulphurous Mire, since it's a guaranteed tap land. 2 zombies. And... oh, get another zombie, I guess. Better than the Florahedron. Attack. Attack. Trampling. They do gain extra life, though, and a counter, but we've got zombies, we don't care. Oh, Sunbird's Invocation, it's been so long since I've enjoyed your wonderful text box. I'm very excited to continue enjoying it. For those who don't know, whenever you cast a spell from your hand, you reveal the top X cards of your library, where X is that spell's mana value, and then you get to cast that spell for free. It's very good. Yeah. And our opponent is inclined to agree. Yeah, we get to go Uvenwald Hydra, grab any old thing, really. And then it's look for 6 drops with this. Is it? Less than... oh. Mana value X or less, yeah. So I can get 6 or less mana value from this. Then I can get to Abundant Harvest. It'll only look at the top 1, but if there's a 1 drop in there, I get to cast that. Choose non-land, whatever land it is, then we get to do our thing. Remember, our mana's doubled as well, so we can double Wooburg, so I can pay 5 for this and still get a 6 or less card, which is kind of cute. But, yeah. It's pretty sweet. And that's going to do it for today's video. Hopefully you've enjoyed, and if you have, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe. Hit that bell as well so you get notifications when my videos go live in the future. Take care, and peace.